I used to think a reading life was about finishing books, reading more, keeping up with people, reading faster. But somewhere along the way, something else started happening, and it's really affected my whole life. Not dramatically, but quietly. I feel it now in my mornings when I don't feel like I have to go anywhere or be anywhere, and I can sit with a book in my hand and my dog at my feet. And quite naturally, I just disappear into the moment and time passes without me tracking it. And I've realized that over time, this kind of life didn't just happen. It's actually something that slow and regular and deep reading has created in me. It's not busy, not full in the way that we often talk about. It's just quiet and attentive. And the strange thing is that I didn't get here by trying to slow my life down. I got here by reading, and I don't think we talk enough about what a reading life becomes. Because most of what we're encouraged to build in our life is a full one, a busy one, something that looks like it matters from the outside. But this feels different. I don't even think I thought of it as a reading life. You either read or you didn't. And when I did read, it was mostly about getting through the books, finishing more, reading widely, trying to keep up with others. And for a while, to be honest, that felt like enough. But it kept reading contained to the book itself. It was something I picked up and put down again, and it didn't really touch other aspects of my life. But somewhere along the way, that changed. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it changed more than just how I read. Not all at once, not even intentionally, just slowly and over time. Something else started to shift too. I started to notice more, and it wasn't just contained to the book I was reading, but I started to notice more about my life and the things around me. Small details that I would have just brushed past before. The way how the light changes through the day, how people communicate with body language, and how long a moment can last when you really stay in it. And I think part of that attention comes from being someone who reads. I really feel that beautiful writing interrupts our momentum as readers. It asks you to pause, to sit with a sentence longer than you normally would. And over time, that attention doesn't just stay with the book, it follows you through your life. I don't move past things as quickly anymore. I really stay in them. I also don't feel the need to rush things anymore, certainly not in the way that I used to. Moments don't feel like something I want to move through quickly. I want to stay in them for longer. And I think that comes from the same place. Spending time with something without trying to get through it. Letting it unfold at its own pace. And this is the part that I didn't expect. It didn't just change how I read. It changed how I spend my time when I'm not reading. Being alone started to feel different too. It was quieter in a way that didn't feel empty. I didn't feel the need to fill the space up as much as I did, and I didn't feel like I needed to reach for something to distract or entertain me. There's a kind of steadiness to it now, and I find myself preferring quiet and actually really protecting that. The time feels already full, even when nothing is happening. And I used to feel that I had to fill that space. I needed some music on in the background. I needed conversation to fill that void. But now it feels different. It feels like something I can step into and doesn't feel anywhere near as empty. I also think that reading has changed the way I sit with things. Not everything needs to be resolved straight away. I feel more comfortable to let things unfold at their own pace. And I'm more comfortable letting things be unfinished for a while. Now, maybe that comes from the stories I've spent time with, where you stay with people and with moments without the need for them to be explained. And I think this is why I've come to value a quieter life. Being comfortable with the silence, spending less time online, letting things hold my attention for longer, and really letting reading open the door to other quiet and analogue parts of my life. For a long time, I found a lot of comfort and guidance in a particular scripture, which is along the lines of live a quiet life, mind your own business, and work with your hands. And over time, this started to feel like something less to aim for and more like something I had grown into. Reading doesn't sit outside of that life. It's really part of how it has formed. And I think this comes from something quite simple. Spending time reading, not forcing it. and letting it take the time that it needs. And after a while, it starts to shape things without me really noticing it. Not just how I read, but how I move through my life. And I think this is where it's easy to misunderstand what a reading life is. It's not about reading more. It's not about having perfectly aesthetic bookshelves or the perfect routine or doing it right. And it's not something that I sat down to design. I think what I've come to realize is that reading isn't just about the books. What I was getting from it was never just the story in front of me. It was shaping how I move through my life, how I respond in my life, in ways that are very easy to miss unless you stop and notice them. I really feel that a quiet reading life, which is what I always wanted, isn't something that I designed, but it's something that I've grown into. And I'm very excited to see what the next stage of my life will be. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this conversation and that you have a wonderful week of reading ahead. I'll speak with you soon. Bye.